it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts, UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Today I've got one of my favourite days. It's sharing the customer gift that I made for everybody who shopped with me in, where are we, September. It's taken a little while longer to get everything out than I would normally take, but I had a hiccup with the order. It's all gone a little bit later than usual, and I'm hoping that by now everyone who receives this will have had it. So this won't be a surprise. Oh, this won't spoil the surprise. So this is using the lovely Country Lane suite, which is in the Autumn Winter catalogue. I'm trying to see if I can see my catalogue. That would be useful. Here we go. So Country Lane Autumn Winter catalogue is on page 42. If you don't already have your Autumn Winter catalogue, why not? There is still time to get one, so just hop over to my website, which is linked immediately below, and you can request a catalogue from there. So this is the Country Lane suite. It's got these lovely stamps, which actually I'm not using today, the designer series paper, chicken wire, all sorts of yummy stuff, the tin tile dynamic textured impressions embossing folder, and the galvanized metallic paper I will be using, and a small piece of the designer series paper. So let me show you what I've made. So it's a little box, except it's not really a box. Look, it's so cute. So it slides in and out. It's as if it's magic. There have been cards like this around for a long time, and this is just a box version of it. It is specifically sized for a divine chocolate bar. Now, anyone who knows me will know that as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing divine about a chocolate bar, but I do appreciate that everybody else, well, pretty much everybody else likes chocolate, so I'm embracing that. You would have spotted, hopefully, last week that I got very excited when I realised that the tin tile embossing folder was, because it was square and was actually squares within square, that you could make a lid for a box. Well, look, you can also cut out two tiles or a pair of tiles, and it's perfect for this. So that was a lucky moment. It wasn't a plan, it just happened to work. Sometimes things like that happen. So let's get going. It's not that complicated. It's just, you just have to go with the measurements. Oh, and I'm using this stamp set, which is an older stamp set. It's tabs for everything. And that's what I've used for the pull. So we'll come on to that in a moment. So you need your scoring tool and a piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock. And I'm going to use my Take a Pick tool. Now, your Blackberry Bliss needs to measure 7 inches across and 3 1/4 inches down. You only score this way. You don't have to do any turning. So we're starting with our long side at the top, and we are going to score at 1/2 inch, 2 1/4 inches. Don't worry about writing any of this down. It will be on my blog. 4 inches, 4 3/8 of an inch, 6 1/8 of an inch, and 6 1/2. That's everything scored. That's all we need. I haven't done metric. Anybody who has been watching me for a while will realise that I'm really not a great metric conversion person. But if you've got your Simply Scored, just follow the score lines, and if you're using your trimmer, just follow the measurements. Inches and centimetres are purely a unit of measurement, so don't get too excited about using one or the other. Both are great. So I'm going to score and burnish all of my creases. I would say I am going to trim both of these ends off eventually, but I thought I would start with 1/2 inch and cut down rather than going into silly measurements, because it will end up as a silly measurement, and it's just easier that way. So that's all of that done. The other pieces that I have got are 2 additional pieces of Blackberry Bliss. These are both cut at 3 1/4 by 1 5/8. I have got 2 pieces of Whisper White, but you only need 1 at this precise measurement, and this is 3 1/8 by 1 1/2, and that's just so that that can mat over there. And then this is going to be for our pull tab, so any scrap will do that's just big enough. Designer series paper is 3 1/8 by 1 5/8, and then the galvanized metallic, which I seem to have 2 of for some reason, you want to cut in a 1 1/2 inch strip that's 3 inches, although I cut them in 2, so I cut them together. Actually, it was that way around. So I cut one strip that was 6 inches wide and then ran it through the embossing folder so that you get it the 1 1/2 inch width. Let me see if I can grab the embossing folder and show you what I mean, because it's always easier to see. So you're going for just one of these strips, and it's probably easiest to go in here. So I just cut my piece of card that was 6 inches across, ran it through the embossing folder, and then just cut it down the middle. But if you just need the one piece, then just cut a piece that's 3 inches by 1 1/2 inches, and then run it through your embossing folder. So that's everything ready to go. The only other thing you need, and it's not in the catalogue, but will be something that you'll probably get when you order things from the catalogue, is just a piece of plastic. Now this is just one of the Ziploc bags that things come in. This had, looking at it, something circular, so probably embellishments. So you just need a piece that's long enough that will wrap round your Blackberry Bliss card once, with a little overlap. I say once, go right the way around with a little overlap. So let's make the card. So the first thing you need to do, she says, trying to refresh her memory, because I've forgotten. Which way up do I do it? It's that one. Right, okay. Sorry, no, I'm there. Right, so you will see that you've got a 1/2 inch, 2 larger pieces, 3/8, a large piece, 3/8 and a 1/2 inch. It's this one that we need to work on to begin with. So I've got the tabs punch, and I'm just going in to this large piece here, and I'm just trimming off the tiniest piece, and I'm eyeballing the middle. So we've got that. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side. It doesn't need to be exactly opposite, but there or thereabouts would be good. So that's what we've ended up with. So we've just taken a notch out of both of these ends. This notch happens to be 1 inch wide. Okay, so it's four squares, 1 inch wide. So I've cut my piece of Ziploc bag at, I think it was, yeah, just under 1 inch. Then you want to grab your tear and tape, and on one end stick a piece of tear and tape, and you want it to not overlap the sides, because you don't want any adhesive other than on your piece of polythene. Then take that off. So take the paper off, pop it on your box, card, whatever we're calling this, so that it's towards this end, doesn't matter too much. Hold it tight, so you want this, it's probably easier to do it when it's flat, so you want to pull it so that it's tight, and then fold over the top. So you're trapping that piece of sticky tape, and then just come in with your snips and trim the excess off. Okay, so that's going to be your mechanism, and you just need that to be taut. So, having done that, you then need to cover that up again, and I tend to go over the piece that you've trimmed away and add another piece of tear and tape. Now you can use scissors, you can just tear, but again, you don't want it sticking over the side. Then noting where that is, turn over, and at the opposite end, put another piece on the other side. But you need these two pieces of tear and tape to be at opposite ends. So I've got one piece here and one piece here. Yeah. So that's all ready to go. So now we can pop that to one side for the moment while we do some stamping. So, in fact, I'm going to do punching first. I'm going to punch out my tab. So that's ready to go. You can stamp first and punch after. I like to do it this way round. And I need Blackberry Bliss and Crushed Curry ink. And I'm going to start with my Crushed Curry and the scalloped circle from the Tabs for Everything stamp set. I've just realised the sun has now, what laughingly I call the sun, has gone in. So the lighting's probably even worse than it was. And then stamp that circle onto your tab. As I say, you can stamp first and punch, or you can punch and stamp. Now we will need this ink pad again, but Blackberry Bliss, and again from the Tabs Are Everything I've taken the Look. I didn't have a pull, so I've taken Look as the best alternative. And then I'm just going to stamp that in the middle of my circle. And that's that done. I am just going to clean my Blackberry Bliss stamp quickly, because then it's less likely to stain badly. It's not a problem if it stains. You'll have heard me say before, staining is just clean dirt. Right, so that's that ready. Then for our card piece, so the piece that comes out, so this piece, I am going to grab a stamp that I've left somewhere else. Bear with me. There was me saying we're not using the... We are using this stamp set, because I'm going to use this and I'm going to use this. So, let's start again with Crushed Curry. And I'm just going to bring in a scrap of paper. And I'm going to ink this up and stamp it off, and then stamp. And I'm stamping towards the left because the right hand end is the end that's going to be in under the box. So I want to concentrate everything towards the left of this particular piece of card. Right, then Blackberry Bliss, and this I'm going to be doing at full strength. So ink up Simply Thankful for All the Good Things. And again, whoops, towards the left of our card. Stamp that down, and there we go. So that is our stamping done. Let me again just grab my good old stamping scrub to get the Blackberry Bliss off as quickly as possible so that it reduces the amount of staining. It's not a problem, it's just the quicker you do it, the less staining you'll get. Right, don't need my scrap of paper anymore. Okay, so we can start putting everything together. Right, so we need to pop some more tear and tape on our box, and you want to pop this along the fold edge of your 1/2 inch at this end, because that's going to go in and be trapped. And then again, you want to be on the fold of your other 1/2 inch piece at the other end. And then, this is where I said I'm going to trim away the extra. It just helps everything run a bit smoother if this isn't quite so long, but I think it's easier to start with 1/2 inch and trim down than start with something that you've got to try and get that tear and tape exactly on. And for the sake of a tiny piece of extra cardstock, it's not a big deal. So, okay. I need to get my brain around this again. Right, so this is going to take the card. So let's start by sticking our card together. That would be a plan, really, wouldn't it? So, snail on the back of that. Let's be generous. And pop that on. And I might as well build the... sorry, my brain. Might as well build the top of the box as well whilst it's flat, because it's so much easier to do these things when they're flat. So I've got my designer series paper, and again I will use some snail for that. And just make sure that I've got the ends. I do want this, you know, properly stuck. So that's going to go on here. In fact, if I fold that under, you'll be able to see. I'm just doing it so that I've got a nice little edge all the way around. And then I need some multi-purpose liquid adhesive to go on the back of this. Now, which one do I want to use? Oh, eeny meeny, this one, I think. Right. And I'm using this rather than snail or tear and tape purely because then you can pick up these raised bits. But you could use tear and tape. That would probably be your better option than snail. And then again, just pop that on so that it's in the middle of our designer series paper. And because it's wet glue, you've got a little bit of wiggle room, and we all like a little bit of wiggle room. Right, okay, so that's going there, that's going there, that's going there. Right, this is where one has to just think about all these things. So let me turn this over. This is where I'm going to be sticking my card, because it all has to be kind of done back to front and inside out. Piercing tool. Of course, this is the piercing tool. This has got the bent end. Come along. That's it. Right. Okay. So with this upside down, you just have to have faith that you're going to pop this in the middle of your card or your box, and then just press it down, and that will then pull out that way. And then this, you have your other piece of card, and on that we're going to stick our look. And again, I'm going to use liquid adhesive. And what you want to do is have liquid adhesive all the way on one piece, so the one whole half, if you can have a whole half, and then just the tab of the other half. You don't need a lot, just need enough. And then this is going, whoops, the other way up. So just pop it on your card so that it's in the middle. Once you've got one side and you're happy that it's kind of in the middle, you can fold the other piece over it and then just squish it all together, and then you've got your look. And then we can just make that a really crisp. And then peel off this piece of tear and tape. And stick this down again so that it's in the middle. And you just want to make sure that's nicely stuck. Right, now this is where the magic starts. She says, hopefully. So you want your card, as in the one you put all the stamping on, to be trapped. So let's unpeel that piece of tear and tape and fold that over. So that is now trapped. Now this piece, unpeel that, you're going to tuck in underneath your look. So that's going to go in. There is a bit of wiggle room. So you're going to go in under here and get that lined up and then press down. And you can kind of flatten it. And that means you can now pull and your stamped image comes out that side, and this is where we're going to put our chocolate bar. And we need just a couple of mini glue dots. Now I find it easier to stick the mini glue dot to the card than the chocolate bar. It's because the chocolate bar is slightly shiny paper. So just roll it so you've got one exposed, and you only need a couple, and then you can, let's have it that way around, just pop that so that it's on the middle of your piece of card, and then you can push it back in. And whoops, just realised I've got a top, therefore I must have something that's open, and there we go. Our thankful for all the good things. So there we are. Just some of, I've got a few more to make, some of the customer gifts for this month. So they're all going to be different flavours, so it'll be interesting to see who gets what flavour. I hope you enjoyed that. It's such a fun little project to make, so do give it a go. I would love to see your versions of this. If you aren't already in my Crafty Hangout, do pop over to that. There's a link to that below. If you don't already subscribe, please do to my YouTube channel. If you want my newsletter and to subscribe to my blog posts, those are over on my website. Links to all that is below. Links to the measurements are below. There will be all the products that I have used will be on my website. If you are in the UK and would like to shop with me, I would be so grateful, and next month you will be the recipient of one of my customer gifts. If you use the host code, which is below and on my website, not only will you get to share in the host rewards for the month, but you also earn sunflower rewards. For every £30 you place in any one order, so £30, £60, £90 in any one order, you earn a sunflower reward, and when you've got 10, you get to spend £30 on product of your choice. You just let me know, I order it and get it sent out to you. If you don't use the host code, then not only do you not share in the host rewards, but you also won't earn sunflower rewards. So please, 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 if you shop with me, please use the host code. I've got some people who are putting in some lovely orders, but they're not using the host code. So there's really not a huge amount I can do about that. So please remember to use the host code. Thank you very much indeed for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye bye.